Well, greetings, visitors to the paper prison. It is I, your host, the Comics Prisoner. And today you find me coming at you from a prison of my own making. And we'll get into that in just a minute. But first, I want to thank everyone for taking the time out to spend time with me during these visiting hours. It does help break up the monotony of solitary confinement. I hope you all share and subscribe and hit like and do all those things that help a YouTube channel grow. Let's get into this. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of John Byrne's Elsewind series, where he did about 3 years worth of X-Men comics on his own dime, just to, I guess, fill the silence. And I just thought, well, if he can do that, I can do that. And since Fantastic Four is my favorite comic book, I wanted to do all the Fantastic Four stories that I've always wanted to tell, and probably will never get the opportunity to. So here we are. So I want to give a little intro to the first issue of Fantastic Forever. I call this series. I'm going to leave a link in the description to the Facebook page. If you have Facebook, you'll be able to see it. But I'm probably after I get done with a few of these, I think I'll like put it up on Instagram or some other site. But just to give you a feel of what the story is about and what the look of the thing is, my decision making for these stories. We're just going to go over the first 5 pages and let's get started, shall we? So, the John Byrne run of Fantastic Four is mightily praised and deservedly so. Um, there's just so much good in it, and it's not just, you know, empirical ability. There's this love he had that could come out. It goes back to what I said in previous episodes how there's almost a telepathic connection between comics creators and the people who read the books. They can tell how much into the creator is into the book just by the work on the page. And so it is with John Byrne. However, I did have a couple quibbles with some of his decisions. And the first one is that when by taking the book back to basics, he essentially by turning the clock back on Johnny Storm, he basically turned him into the village idiot. I mean, he'd been around as long as Spider Man, he'd matured as much as Spider Man, but suddenly he just became a dumb kid. It just didn't quite work. So I said, okay, how can I reconcile that? Well, I reconcile it by saying that Johnny had actually gone through some PSTD, post stress, what is that? Stress disorder because of what had happened during the first Galactus trilogy. He had been sent across the universe and saw his himself in proportion to the rest of the universe, its immensity and its grandeur, and to him, human beings were just ants. And even though the Watcher said that his memory of what he saw would fade, on a subconscious level, it was always just playing there, I thought. So that's to me, that's why Johnny suddenly became the village idiot. He's actually constantly trying to distract himself from those memories, on just the edge of his consciousness. So in the first page, we have him having a dream sequence where he's going, reliving that trip the Watcher sent him across the universe, where he's saying the universe is so big and we're just ants. So we'll flip the page, and he's coming out of it ants. And so we show him doing something very, impulsive, trivial. He goes to a disco. I hope everyone liked my Studio 44 joke, as opposed to 54, because it's the Fantastic Four. The four motif will be dominant. So it looks like he's going, to the hot spot, and he's, super popular, and everyone's excited, and he acts like he's excited. But as we see, it's not really helping because in the bottom panel, he's just thinking, "We're just ants." So that's it for that vignette, and we go on to Latveria on page 3, and we see Doctor Doom. Uh, Remember, these aren't stories that I just thought of overnight. I've been thinking about Fantastic Four stories since I was 10 years old, and every year I'll take them out and, massage them and polish them and try to sand off the rough edges and see, do they still have relevance to the world we're living in now. And now, knowing what we know of actual despots and dictators and, demagogues, they do have to have some workings of a government. So I want to show that Doom does at least go through the motions of listening to his subjects, and that's what we have in our first page here in Latveria. Doom thinking about destroying the Steelworkers Union, which just seems very relevant now. But this is the start of a subplot with Doom. As we turn the page, we have a junior grade mad scientist coming in. He's able to take out Doom's Doom bots with a device he's created. And Doom, of course, is at first, you know, livid with being insulted by this. And what this subplot that's kicking off is we've always had like people who have served Doom, and some were toadies, of course, but most of them did it because they were afraid that he was being forced to serve them, and that it's kind of against their will. I wondered what would it be like for Doom to have a toady or a servant who actually wanted to be his slave, that that just felt like it was the coolest thing ever. Doom has a cult of personality now, and frankly, I thought that if that ever happened, Doom really wouldn't know how to take it. At first, it would be, uh, somewhat flattering to him, but it would be just so against the norm. He'd be constantly, suspect of it. He'd probably be constantly testing this guy, see if he really liked him, really wanted to serve him. But it would be a new and unique experience for Doom that I don't think he's really ever had. So that's something new that I think I'm bringing to the mythos. So we have here that our guy Schwinn, he proves his loyalty to Doom by willing to take his own life if he can't serve him, which really would play to Doom's ego. So that's the first 5 page intro to Fantastic Forever, a series of my stories that I've always wanted to tell. I'm going to put the Facebook link in the description, so if you want to see the whole 20-page comic. And a quick aside, I know for a lot of us, when you're doing your own comic and you're basically a one-man band, um, doing the lettering is probably the thing you don't like to do the most. But let me tell you, doing your own lettering makes you a better writer and it makes you a better editor. Because when you're trying to jam all this text into these small areas allotted to it, you find yourself going, okay, how can I trim this down to the least amount of words and still make this text, um, substantial and eloquent and impactful? So, long story short, being your own letterer makes you a better writer and a better editor. I hope I really want to know what you guys think of it. What do you think of this, both in the quality of the product and the very idea of doing this and the concepts? Really would like to get your feedback. So, like I said, I think that's enough. Probably visiting hours is over, and I must return to solitary confinement. And I look forward to your next visit. And I hope you enjoy what you see in Fantastic Forever. And until next time, be happy, be good, be well, and bye bye, and bye comics.